Hey scholars, it's Mrs. Jasnica and we're back with another Draw With Me challenge. This week we're going to be drawing cute pizza slices together. This is a kindergarten through 6th grade assignment. What you'll need for this project is a paper, a pencil, and something to color with, like markers, crayons, or colored pencils. Alright, let's go back to the art room. Alright, kindergarten through 6th grade, we're going to be drawing our pizza together. Now, what I think I'm going to do is draw two pizza slices, shall I say, and one of them is going to be facing up and the other one is going to be facing down. That way you guys can decide which one you like more, or maybe you can draw both of them along with me. So first of all, our slice of pizza is going to be using the shape of a letter V. So it's going to be pretty easy, which is why this is a kindergarten through 6th grade assignment. Now, as always, we have to make sure that our paper is in the correct position. We are going to have our paper going horizontal. That means sideways or long ways, like this, not like this. Now that we have our paper in the correct position, we are going to find the middle of the paper, which is right around here or so. And we are going to use this to separate the two slices of pizza. One is going to be on this side, and one is going to be on this side. So we're going to start off with the shape of our pizza, which is the letter V. And we are going to make one letter V normal and one that's upside down. So let's go ahead and do that now, and then we'll add all the details after. So I'm going to do a letter V on this side and an upside down letter V on this side. Now I want to make them kind of big. I don't want tiny pieces of pizza. So I'm going to make it take up a pretty large portion of the paper. You can see if this is the middle, I made my V take up about half the paper, and now we're going to be making the upside down V. So let's see, I also have to make the crust, so I'm going to make this V a little bit higher than where this one ends. I'm going to make a little dot over here to let me know where my pizza point is, and I'm going to make two lines going down. There's one, and here's the other. This line's a little straighter than this one, but that's okay. Alright, so now we have an upside down V and a regular V. Now we have to make the crust. So the way we're going to do that is we have to make a line from this point to this point. To do that, I'm going to turn my paper because it's easier for me to make lines that way. And I'm going to connect the top of the V. So I'm doing this one first. We'll do this one after. I just wanted to make sure I had enough space for both of the pieces of pizza. Alright, now I have the top of my pizza connected. We're going to make the crust. So to do this, we have to make another line above where the crust is going to end. Actually, I should have left my paper turned, because now I gotta turn it again. So I'm turning my paper, and I'm just gonna make a straight line above this one. Like so. I think I made it too long on this side, but close enough. So as you can see, I have made a straight line above. This is going to be the thickness of the crust. Now we have to connect it. We don't want to make a straight line because the crust is actually pretty thick and it's kind of round. So what we're going to do is over here, we're going to connect this with a curved line, which looks like a parentheses. So from here down to here, we're going to connect with a curved line, kind of like a flat C. Now we're going to do that over here also. You can choose if you want to make it just bump up like this, or if you want to make it curve this way, because we're actually going to do both. So let me show you. I'm going to make it look just like this. I'm gonna go and make a curved line from here to here. Now, I'm going to come back up and make the bump going the opposite way. And you're probably like, why, Miss Jasnica? Because I'm showing that you can see the side of this crust. So I'm gonna come back up like that. And now it looks like the side of the crust. So you can see inside the crust. There we go. Now, if you want, you can also add thickness to the side of the pizza. So, for example, I'm going to erase this and make it a little bigger so you can see what I mean. I'm going to go like this. And now, instead of connecting here, I'm just going to go straight down and connect to the bottom. And what that's supposed to look like is that our pizza has a little bit of thickness to it. Because pizzas are not super paper thin, right? Now let me fix this just a little. And again, you don't have to do this, especially if you're in kindergarten through 2nd grade, which is why I showed the easier way first. But you can do it this way if you want it to look like it's kind of thick. Like your pizza is thick. And of course you can make that line a little further away to make it even look more thick. All right, now we have the basics. We have to add all of the details. Before I do all that, we're going to once again use this side to show you how to do the crust one more time. That way, instead of turning my paper, I could just show you twice because I have 2 pieces of pizza here. This time I'm doing it upside down. So once again, just like we did on this side, we have to connect our V at the top, or in this case on the bottom because it's upside down. So we're gonna go from here to here with a straight line. When I make straight lines, I like to make them toward me, so I always turn my paper so that I can make the line toward myself. If I want it to be straight, that is. There we go. So right now we have a triangle. That's what it looks like. And now we're going to make the crust. Just like we did on this pizza slice, we are going to be making a bump over here. But first we have to make the bottom of the crust. So I'm going to, just like I did here, I'm going to make a line going from here to here, and that's going to be the thickness of the crust. There we go. Now we have this triangle with a line a little bit under it, and this area is the thickness of the crust. From here to here, we have to make a curved line that looks a lot like a parentheses. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Then over here, we're gonna make the same shape like this. And for those of you who are not making the thickness of the pizza, all you have to do is make the line go down like this. So it kind of looks like a leaf shape there, doesn't it? And that's perfectly fine. If you want it to look thicker, like we did over here, I'm going to erase this line and make it more round. So we're gonna go like this, more out. And now I'm gonna come all the way up. Okay, or I can come all the way down, whichever. You know what? Let me do it that way. So I'm just gonna go out a little here and then come straight down like that. Now, of course, my line is not perfectly straight, but you know, when I outline, it's going to look a little bit different anyway. There we go. So now I have 2 slices of pizza, one that is with the crust on the bottom and one with the crust on the top. We're going to add eyes to make them cute pieces of pizza, and we're going to add toppings. Now, you could leave them as just cheese pizzas, which means you wouldn't have any toppings on them, or you can add whatever toppings you like. Personally, I like pepperoni on my pizza, so that is probably what I'm going to put on mine. Let's do the eyes first. So this piece of pizza is going to have closed eyes, and this one's going to have open eyes. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use what looks like a little arch shape, and it could also look like an N. So there we go. And that's going to be a closed eye. We're going to do the same thing for the other eye. I think this one's a little too big. That means I need to make this one a little bit bigger, or I have to make this one a little bit smaller. I think I'm gonna make this one bigger. There we go. And again, I can always fix any mistakes when I outline. Now I'm going to make the mouth. Remember, I told you these are closed eyes, so we're not gonna make the pupil because the eye is closed. And we're just gonna make a mouth. You can make a happy face for the mouth, or you can make, I don't know, the mouth open or whatever you want. I am gonna use the letter D to make an open mouth. So you're probably like, what do you mean, Miss Jasnica? So I'm literally gonna write a sideways letter D. Here's the stick, and here is the mouth. Now it looks like an open mouth. And if I turn my paper, it is literally the letter D. All right, so that is one pizza, or one slice of pizza, and now we gotta make the other one over here. Let me take all my smudge marks off here. There we go. All right, I'm gonna make this one's eyes open, and they're going to be 2 circles. So to do that, we are just making 2 round circles, as big or as small as you want. This one's eyes were pretty little, but I think I'm gonna make this one's eyes bigger because this part of the pizza has more space than this part. There's one eye, and here's the other eye. And now we can make the same mouth, or we can do a different one. I'm gonna make this one different. I could put a cute little smiley face, or you know what? I'm gonna make like a little round shape. It looks like a curved oval. Also looks kind of like a bean. So to do this, I just rounded the edges, but kind of brought it down like I was gonna make a heart. That's pretty cute, actually. So now I'm gonna add a couple details to the eyes. You know, I like to add a cute shine in the corner, so I put a circle in the corner like so, and then sometimes I put one at the bottom too. There we go. Now let's add our pepperoni or our mushrooms or whatever it is that you like on your pizza. I'm just gonna put pepperoni pieces because I think that that's the easiest, and to do that I'm just gonna make big circles like that, a little bigger than I made the eyes. And of course, if your pepperoni slice is cut off the side of the pizza, then you could just do a half circle like this, or a half circle like this, and that is fine too. In fact, most of your pepperoni slices are probably going to be cut because they're going to be on the corner. So I'm going to do one more, maybe right here. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make more circles. A nice big one in the middle that's not cut. And then I'm going to make a couple on the side like I did over here. There we go. Perfect. Now, any final details that you would like to put, you can put them now. I'm just gonna add some little lines over the eyes over here, like that. Maybe a little cute eyelash over here. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And then if you want yours to be stuffed crust, maybe you can add a little circle here and you can color that yellow so they know it's cheese. Or you can even add a drip mark coming out of it to let people know that that's cheese. And you can even add drip marks to the side of your pizza, like this, to let people know that your cheese is nice and soft, and it's nice and warm, okay? I'm gonna do one over here too, like this. There we go. Perfect. Now it's time to outline and color in. Alright, scholars, here is my finished artwork of my 2 pizzas with pepperoni topping. And one of them is stuffed crust. Alright, now it's time for me to see what you guys were working on.